I don't want to be the person that uses hearsay and accuse people without evidence. But I refer again to what Chief of Police Faru said in her witnessing here at the Commission, that all these things will be looked at and must be looked at. It could be, let me use my words carefully, it could be that the systemic rot and corruption has been going on for quite some time, even before the function was returned to the Metro Police, right under our own noses. And yes, I remember exactly the frustration illustrated by the commissioners about why, and we hear the sentiment, we don't have proper answers on those. We did fail in that, I agree. We could have done better. But we are here now with this before us, and we have to deal with what we have. And this will definitely be part of that further investigation.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Bolhuis, I think we've just dealt with those emails. We've dealt with paragraph 45 and 46. So perhaps you can just take it up, pick it up from paragraph 47 instead.
Before you do that, in these email exchanges, what is set out is the process. That's what Director Nwandule, Mr. Nwandule is doing, setting out the process.
Yes, Madam.
So in respect of the problematic payments, that is to Goobies, because we have these WhatsApp exchanges where Mr. Mnisi is involved in processes of invoices must now be uploaded, there must be an upliftment of the amounts that must be paid, and eventually even the Deputy Commissioner Dlamini is involved in it, right? And eventually somebody says, yes, all sorted, payments will be made. If it's done properly, or when Mr. Malachi does come to testify, which he will do, and Mr. Mnisi testifies, we should expect that this payment process that is lined out by Mr. Nwandule would have been complied with.
Yes.
The documents should be there.
It should have.
For payment eventually to be released.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Otherwise, the finance section, Director Nwandule or his colleagues would have reported back to me in the time span when I was the caretaker that although they waited, but it was eventually followed. They would have reported back to me that it wasn't followed. Then I could have intervened. So I have to assume that it was followed correctly from that point onwards. Exactly how they manipulated that, I'm not sure. But that will come out most probably in other evidence before you.
Now, Director Nwandule does not define a role for the Chief Financial Officer in this approval
Yes.
of payments matrix. Where does the CFO feature?
The CFO doesn't fit into that. The Commissioner asked about, do I know the financial process? And I'm not very well versed in this,
okay.
but this is the process that is followed within the department when it relates, well, there's processes for all types of finances, but when it relates to contract management. So, as Director Nwandule explained it here in that document, this is the process followed in the department. From there, it goes to supply chain management.
I see.
And from there to the CFO for payment. So the CFO comes into that process.
Okay, thank you.
So just remind me which page, which
We on
paragraph?
page 12, so in paragraph 47.
47.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioners. Paragraph 47. On 28 February 2025, the City Manager sent an extension letter to Goobies 85 Solution Pty Ltd. This is attached here to as Annexure SB9. Next page, the total amount paid under TMPD 02-2016/17 to all service providers since inception March 22 to the end of January 2026 is 2,923,467 rand and 84 cents. And that is written again in brackets there. Approximately 730,857,460 rand per year. This much is also confirmed in Commissioner Revospe's statement.
Chair, perhaps there to be fair, that this extension letter was also sent to the other 21 service providers. It was not exclusive to Bolhuis. The only question I have for you, Commissioner Bolhuis, in this regard is that were you involved in any of the processes dealing with the extension of this tender? Because this letter is dated 28th of February and it's a time that you would have been a caretaker. Were you ever involved in those processes?
I was involved in communication and supply of information, even letters, reports, documentation to the city and to the CFO and also to the BIC in regards.
All right.
And maybe also to, just for completeness and just so that there's no confusion, so that this extension, it's the extension not of the ad hoc services, but of the contract itself.
Of the security contract,
Yes.
the bigger security contract, yes.
Thank you.
Because the new tender could not come into place, then as per the MFMA, you have to extend it in a certain procedural manner, which we've done.
Yes. And maybe lastly, in that letter of extension, and this is, I'm not asking, I just want you to confirm if I'm correct. At page 131, there is a number of people there who are copied, I suppose. One of them is Mr. Kane Bolhuis in supply chain management. You recognize that name? At 131?
Page 131?
Yeah, there are a number of names there of people that are copied, and at number,
Yes.
at number 4, you've got Kane Bolhuis.
Yeah, he's a senior person in the supply chain management process of the city of Tshwane.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Bolhuis. Can we then move to the last, at least the second last topic before the remarks, closing remarks? It's the topic dealing with requests for additional funding. That is paragraph 48. Can you take it from there, please?
Thank you. Paragraph 48, I'm aware that to ensure that the TMPD can meet its financial obligations during the extension period, a request was made to uplift an amount of 91 million for the 24-25 funds for security services, specifically to pay for the invoices submitted by the service providers for the period of May to June 2025. I attach this letter of request as Annexure SB10. The request is recommended by the CFO, Gareth Mnisi, and the Chief of Police, Commissioner Y.R.C. Faro, and approved by the City Manager, Mr. J. Metler.
Chair, this letter, it was dealt with by Commissioner Spies. If my memory serves me well, it might have been dealt with by Commissioner Faro as well. So I don't think there's a need for this witness to go there, especially given that it was during June time where he had stopped being a caretaker, but at least to accept for the point that he will make later on, 2 paragraphs later, why he needs to speak to this, to make reference to this letter. Can you then continue to paragraph 49, Commissioner
you.
Bolhuis?
Thank you, Commissioners. Paragraph 49. On or about 12 March 2025, I was copied on an email from Deputy Commissioner Dlamini, which stated that the deployment of ad hoc security guards had grown exponentially and indicated that an extra 37 sites were added in January 2025, with a further 6 sites added in February 2025, in total 43 sites. A copy of the mail and the annexures is attached as Annexure SB 11.
Chair, I think the similar comment applies that Commissioner Spies dealt with this letter before the commissioners. We do not need to go there. Commissioner Bolhuis, can you then move to the next paragraph?
Paragraph 50, Commissioners. But I later realized that, in fact, the initial request for the additional funding emanated from a WhatsApp message I received from the Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Gareth Mnisi, sent to me on 25 February 2025. I quote the message below. It's in inverted commas and italics. 25 February 2025. From Gareth Mnisi, he says, "Good afternoon, DC. Please assist with loading the approval for budget upliftment. The team needs to upload with the budget team in order to upload payment." And then it says forwarded, and in brackets, in italics again, it says request for additional funds to be made available. Paragraph 51, the message is attached as Annexure SB 12 here too.
Can we then go to that WhatsApp message, please?
SB 12.
It's page 143.
Yes, I'm there.
Yes, can you take us through that exchange? Who are the participants in that conversation?
Yes, I am. This is a WhatsApp message, Commissioners, on page 143, sorry. It is from the CFO, Gareth Mnisi, to me.
So you took a screenshot from your phone?
Yeah, I took a screenshot from my phone. The first messages are other messages. Good afternoon, DC. Please assist with loading the approval for budget upliftment. The team needs to upload with the budget team in order to enable payment. Then there was a forwarded document, request for additional funds to be made available. So that is an actual attachment, a document.
Deputy Commissioner, what is this concept of budget upliftment? I've never encountered it before. What does it mean and what happens there?
It's a term that we, Madam Commissioner, that we use in the city, in the department. It is when you realize, and I spoke about this earlier, when you realize early in the financial year that you are running out of funds for a certain function to complete, that you write a memo or report to the city manager, but via your group head, CFO, etc., to indicate that you do not have enough funds. And please, I'm explaining it from my own experience. I'm not, again, a financial specialist. Where you explain to the city that you need so much funds and you give explanation why and motivation to complete the task or whatever you're busy with. And then the CFO, upon approval, the CFO will uplift funds, meaning he will make funds available.
In this WhatsApp exchanges, good afternoon, DC. This is addressed to you.
To me.
By?
Mnisi, CFO.
Okay. And then, okay. So where it says, thanks DC will expedite tomorrow, who's speaking? I'm just trying to make sense of this sequence of communication.
That's not part of this communication.
I see.
I'll have to go back in my records to see what that was part of.
Okay, all right.
That's
But the only relevant part here in this page, the only relevant WhatsApp message is this one, good afternoon, DC, to you.
Yes, plus the forwarded attachment, which is the actual document about the upliftment.
Okay.
CFO, Mr. Mnisi, would be the one who actually releases funds. But now he wants you to initiate the process so that he may then release funds. Correct me if I'm
Yes.
misunderstanding this.
Commissioner, let me explain. The upliftment permission for the upliftment permission was already done.
Okay.
So he's requesting me to load that information. Once again, I just referred all of that to Deputy Chief Dlamini and the Finance Office because they know what to do with it.
When you say it had already been done, who had done it and at what stage was it? I want to understand the need for you to do something, whatever the something was.
Then we'll, sorry, Commissioner, do we have that document on file? The upliftment document, sir?
Would it be the same document?
Am I allowed to consult my phone?
Yes, you may. Yes.
Please.
Is it not the same document on 132?
132.
Yeah.
Let me see quickly.
It might not be when you look at the dates, but that's the closest I can come to assisting you, but it doesn't look like it anyway.
I think it's the same one. I just want to check. If you give me a second.
It can't be the same one because the chats seem to date early in 2025 and this document at 132 is dated 30 June 2025.
Commissioners, I cannot open that downloaded, that document that was forwarded to me because it's obvious. If it's not on file, I would be able to make a supplementary statement to that because I do have it on my computer. So what I've done, once I received this message from the CFO, plus the document, I forwarded to Deputy Chief Dlamini, Deputy Police Commissioner Dlamini. I CC'd the Chief of Police, CFO, and whomever, relevant people, and I've actually quoted the message verbatim, plus I added that document, and I send it to Deputy Police Commissioner Dlamini to say, he needs to action this.
Is this what you say had been done already? Is that what you are referring to now?
I believe so, because when you do upliftment, it's not a process started, you are in consultation with the CFO, but it's not a process started by the CFO. It's a process you start in the department. So we would consult with the CFO and then we start an upliftment process by writing a document, whether it's a C9 report, which is a typical system we use in the city, a department, or a memo. And this is addressed to the city manager, and then we explain why, and then the whole process is explained, and then the chief recommends, CFO recommends, it goes to the city manager, and it's signed off. I would make a deduction, because why would the CFO asking me to upload the information if it's not something that has already been done?
Yeah.
So he's obviously waiting for that approved report or memo to be uploaded through our finance section somehow, somewhere, so that he can then release funds.
Release funds, okay. So basically you are saying it was still winding its way within
Yes,
the...
it was still in process.
Within the TMPD.
Yes.
So that's why he's saying, all right, please do it. All right, all right.
But then it would also mean, from the process that you're describing, the point at which the CFO becomes involved, it would mean that this WhatsApp message from him, somebody in your department has alerted him. Your internal departmental processes are not yet complete. That's why he doesn't see this information on the system. So someone in your department must have informed him that this is happening, but it is still holding because of you.
That is possible, madam, or it could have been that that he knows the process is almost in completion because he recommended, and he's now waiting for us, because once a document has been signed off, the Chief of Police recommends, CFO recommends, City Manager signs off. Because the document is originated in the Metro Police, the document returns to the Metro Police. He would know that he signed, because he signed, and that it's probably gone via the City Manager for signature, and it's now returning to the Metro Police. So it's either that, or someone is alerting him, it's still lying by us, and we're hanging on to the document and not processing it. But I'm speculating.
Yes, yes, thank you.
Commissioner Bolhuis, so that we don't conflate issues, can you go to page 134?
1, 3, 4.
Yes.
Yes?
Now, this is an email from Deputy Commissioner Umashi Dlamini. I want you to read into the record the very last paragraph of that email.
Okay, thank you, Commissioners. The last paragraph of this email states further that you explore the possibility of engaging the requesting sister department and to persuade them to engage the CFO to approve or make funds available for ad hoc duties. That upon approval and availability of the said funds, the necessary journal be made accordingly so that our budget is not overburdened.
So you will see the subject of that email says ad hoc duties versus available budget for APS. And
Yes.
that email would have been sent on the 12th of March. So where I need you to balance us, Commissioner Bolhuis, is that there is this text from the CFO, and then you said you forwarded all of that as a package with the annexure to Deputy Commissioner Umashi Dlamini.
Yes.
And then 2 weeks later, he sends this email where you see at the end there is a request to be made, or someone is requested to persuade the CFO to approve or make funds available. Are the two interlinked, or the SMS, the WhatsApp, and the email?
I would not be able to say with confidence yes, but it could be. It could definitely be. If I look at it from the little that we have before us, it is it's clear to me that there is a request for more funds the whole time. And there's one thing to ask for upliftment of a budget to deal with the finances of the contract. Now, this is additional to that, and it is because it mentions ad hoc services. So, someone increase ad hoc services, as we've seen, irregularly, and now there is a further asking for funds for the ad hoc services, for the payment thereof. So how it links specifically or how far it's integrated, I cannot say, but it seems that way.
Why or how would Deputy Commissioner Dlamini become involved in this to a point where he's got this kind of information and he's sending this email to Deputy Commissioner Spies? What's his involvement in terms of position in a matter like this?
Look, the Deputy Commissioner Dlamini is the divisional head of support and administrative systems. And the finance section falls within that. How much influence he has over the finance section, or does he have or doesn't he have, I don't know. I don't have any evidence or personal information to that, so I would not know. What happens, what could have happened, and what happens on an ongoing basis within the Metro Police Department is that, let's say there's an issue at finance section, they will elevate the matter to Deputy Police Commissioner Dlamini, and he will then consult or collaborate with the other deputy chiefs, either directly or in what we call executive management meeting, EMM short. Then something is brought to the table, we discuss it there, we make a decision, and we move on. So I'm not sure what happened here and what is the precursor to this. But on a quick view, it looks to me like whether this is related to irregular ad hoc and future ad hoc and monies and all that, let's park that for one side. It looks to me on the eye that he is now consulting with Deputy Chief Spies to ensure that sister departments, and I must assume he's referring to where service delivery requests would come from, that they make funds available so that these services can be paid and we don't overburden the budget. That's on a quick eye view. That's what I can say.